On November 22nd, 1963, the world was forever changed when President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. The events of that day have been dissected and analyzed countless times, but the impact of his death still resonates today. President Kennedy was riding in a motorcade through Dealey Plaza when shots rang out. The first bullet allegedly struck the president in the back. The second hit Texas Governor John Connally, who was also in the car. A third shot that could only have been fired from the front blew the back of his head away. Chaos erupted as people realized what had happened. The president's limousine sped off to Parkland Hospital, but it was too late. John F. Kennedy was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. The hospital where they tried to resuscitate him said that both shots were fired from the front and could not have come from the rear. The FBI warned medical staff not to speak to the press and say nothing, and they prevented an autopsy being carried out, even though Texas law stipulated that that should have been carried out. The news of the president's assassination spread quickly, sending shockwaves throughout the nation. People gathered around their televisions, trying to make sense of what had just happened. The world mourned the loss of a charismatic leader who had inspired hope and optimism in so many. Lee Harvey Oswald was quickly identified as the prime suspect in the assassination. He was apprehended later that day and charged with the murder of President Kennedy. However, before he could stand trial, Oswald himself was shot and killed by Jack Ruby, a nightclub owner with alleged ties to organized crime. The events of November 22, 1963, sparked a wave of conspiracy theories that continue to this day. Many believe that Oswald did not act alone, that there was a larger conspiracy at play. The Warren Commission, tasked with investigating the assassination, concluded that Oswald was the lone gunman. However, doubts persist, and the truth may never be fully known. The assassination of President Kennedy marked the end of an era. The optimism and idealism of the early 1960s gave way to a more cynical and uncertain time. The nation was left to grapple with the loss of a beloved leader and the unanswered questions surrounding his death. As we look back on that fateful day, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the power of a single moment to change the course of history. John F. Kennedy's legacy lives on, his memory forever etched in the collective consciousness of a nation that will never forget the events of November 22, 1963.